Hey, what up, y'all? Planet to Fix, Supreme Consciousness. We over here at the city of Lovejoy in Clayton County, if I'm not mistaken. And basically, I'm bringing this up because there's a viral video going around of Clayton County police officers brutally beating a man in the street. And not only that, we also got another video of the Clayton County Sheriff's Department raiding the wrong house. And in this video, they basically say um, the black people pretending to live in Clayton County do not have constitutional rights because they have something known as qualified immunity, and that's when a judge determines if a police officer violated people's rights or not based on doing something incorrect. And they raided a 70-something-year-old man's house by mistake and didn't pay him for it or anything. And the judge is basically saying they got qualified immunity. Now let me explain to y'all what qualified immunity means. Qualified immunity means since the police officers are contracted with the company known as Georgia, with the company known as Clayton County, they're immune to being charged in the company. It's kind of like if you work for Macy's, and Macy's got different department stores in their Macy's, all owned by Macy's, you would be immune to shoplifting in Macy's if you're moving products from one store to another. Now, say those stores wasn't Macy's and it was different stores, that would be considered stealing. But since you're in Macy's and it's all Macy's and you're a Macy's employee, you're immune to that harassment for stealing because you obviously are working. And that's the same thing. But this qualified immunity didn't come into play until probably the 70s, 80s, maybe even the 2000s. So think about it. They crushing people's constitutional rights with policies that they just enacted in the 2000s. And this is why people will never get nowhere, because they don't know what the state of Georgia is, but they'll die for the state of Georgia. They don't know what Clayton County is, but they'll die for Clayton County. And this is why we don't get into politics on my channel, because I refuse to speak politics to people living in states and can't even tell me what a state is. I refuse to speak politics with people living in counties and can't even tell me or show me what a county is. And this is why people get treated the way they get treated. But anyway, let's get into this right here. This is the city of Lovejoy. And I'm at the Muni Code. I know people don't know what Muni Code means. It means municipal code. Every state, every city, every town is a municipality. A municipality means company. It doesn't mean a place. So all you people state dick licking because you think you live in a state, thank your state education for miseducating you and teaching you how to pretend to live in foreign companies doing business on America, violating your rights just like they're violating these people's rights. But you keep calling foreign companies tricking you into business, your government. And I already told you, cowards die 1,000 deaths. Soldiers only die 1. Here go another death for the cowards. Part 1, Charter. An act to create a new charter. Remember, every foreign company that comes to America needs a charter. They have to let the American, meaning the non-U.S. citizens, know what their business will be doing on this land. So now we're reading what is the city of Lovejoy's business on this land. An act to create a new charter for the city of Lovejoy in the county of Clayton to prescribe corporate limits of the said city. Now, I always tell y'all, when you're leaving certain areas controlled by these foreign companies known as the state on a highway, it'll say you're leaving corporate limits. The reason they say you're leaving corporate limits because the county is a company, not a place. And just because you say, I live in Clayton County, it doesn't really mean you live in Clayton County. The word live in their dictionary means doing business with. So every time one of these ignorant people ready to vote for Joe Biden, who voted for Obama, say, oh, I live in the county of Clayton. In all actuality, they're saying, I'm an American that was tricked into being a U.S. citizen. I don't know what a state is. I don't know what a city is. I don't know what the United States is, but I'm just following everybody else doing business with a company known as Georgia. But y'all keep pretending Georgia's a place because you've been in that area of America for 100 years and that's what everybody calls it. I'm telling you right now, that's a foreign company name, and those papers that you're getting from the state are papers that they own you. And I already told you, the reason that they incorporated areas is because slavery. One man owning another man's against the law, but there's no law that says a company can't own people that volunteer and are miseducated and just straight ignorant to the fact they don't know what a state is from being owned by a state. And a state is a company. So go look at your fake ass birth certificates. That's the title that the state owns your ass, due to the fact the state owns the name you are pretending to be. So every time you use that name, you're not using that name as an American or a U.S. citizen. You're using that name as a company in a company. And companies don't have a right to life. You can't bring a company to life. A company don't have constitutional rights, as you're going to see in this video, as they beat this man up who's using a company name, obviously, because he has a car, and that car is registered to the state under the company name that his parents applied for and gave to him and raised him to be, just like you're raising your kids to be companies. They don't have a right to life. You can't bring a company to life. And what does corporation mean? Corp means dead. Ation means to speak. So you're the speaking dead. Not only that, in military, don't they have something called a corporal? You know what corporal means? The same thing. The speaking dead. Corp is the dead. Oral is what? Speaking. Verbal. So y'all keep using the English language thinking person means man or woman. Female means man or woman. What rights do you have as a male? I'm going to show you a male getting his ass beat in the street in front of his wife and in front of his kids. You know why? Because he don't got no time to find out that the state of Georgia is not an American place, but a foreign company, no matter how foreign the employees treat your ass. But y'all keep pretending states or places is getting your ass far, pandemic. To provide for the government of said city. So now they're telling you, the county of Lovejoy is a company, and they're providing a government for that company. It's not a government of American people. It's the government of the corporate. You see that? I know you don't understand it because you're too busy state dick licking. I hope they bust in your mouth. Anyway, let me see. I guess I'll add, and look, we go further. Article 1. Charter, city limits, and corporate powers. Remember, counties only have corporate powers. They don't have no powers in law because companies can't deal in law. But since all the people pretending to live in Clayton County is property of the company, you got to follow that company laws. So shout out to all those people state dick licking Georgia. That's a foreign company that own your ass, own your kids, and it owes the world trillions of dollars. This is why they beating your ass for fines and all that other stuff. But you keep letting them beat your ass and telling your sons and daughters it's the government. They can do whatever they want. It's not a government. It's a foreign company you pledge they behinds to. Anyway, let's read this because I'm about to get into the video. Section 1.1. Incorporation, name, style, and designation. Powers of city as a body politic and corporate. Anybody subscribe to my channel, y'all know what a body politic and corporate is. That is a company. You are a foreign body in another body. What do the body do to foreign objects in it? Get rid of it. Aren't they genociding you now? But you still stay dick licking because you think Georgia and United States are places. How can the United States be a place and America's the place? That's why it's called the U.S. of A, because it's the foreign companies of America. United Foreign Companies of America. So all you people that think you American because you got a U.S. citizenship, that's a lie. U.S. citizenship don't make your ass American. It makes you a United States foreign company citizen on America. And this is why they can send foreigners back home if they don't do what the state says. But guess who they can't send back home? Non-U.S. citizens. And I told you, I renounced that bullshit citizenship since 2012. We in fucking 2020. I still do everything a citizen does, but I know they can't violate my rights by tricking me into thinking I live in a state, when a state is a company, and I never applied for a name. My mother can't give me a company name and make me use it. The police can't make me use a company name, and a judge can't make me use a company name, because I'll simply ask them, is the state a company? They'll say yes. So this name is a company name that my mother created, is it not? Yes, I'm not a company. If I want to use a company name, I'll apply for a name. I know you don't understand that because you watch TV, because you got a public education, because you want to be with the Joneses. You be with the Joneses. They're going to wipe you off the face of this earth like they've been doing. Pandemics, GMOs, sex trafficking. Taxpayers, you are supporting that by not knowing what you're living in. Incorporation, name, style, and designation powers of the city as a body politic and corporate. This act shall continue the whole charter of the city of Lovejoy, the city of Lovejoy, Georgia, in the county of Clayton, and the inhabitants. Remember why they use this word inhabitants? Because that's a term they use for animals. Animals habitate things. Men and women settle places. We would have been considered settlers, or we would have been considered the men and women, but they call you inhabitants because they stripped you of your human rights. You pretending to live in a company. A man or a woman can't live in a company. So now you're just an inhabitant. And this is why they got you saying male and female now, because a female doesn't mean human. A male doesn't mean human. I can show you a male insect. I can show you a female insect. Let's continue. So the inhabitants thereof shall continue. So they're telling you, not only is the city of Lovejoy a company, but everybody that pretends to be in them are a company. Here go the sentence right here. I know you're not going to understand it because you can understand Gucci, Louis, and all that dumb shit. And you want to get a job, and you need a job, and you need to pay bills for your state, not knowing the state's a company. So they tell you right here that the inhabitants thereof shall continue to be a company and corporate under the name, the city of Lovejoy, Georgia, and by that name shall have perpetual succession, may contract and contract with. So when your mother gives you that name and pretends you live in the city of Lovejoy, you now have a contract with that company. And based on that contract, you got to follow the corporate rules. And you're a dummy for letting foreigners put you in jail on your land for corporate rules. Companies can't pass laws because they're owned by people that's not in them. But anyway, I know you too ignorant to understand that, and I don't even care if you do or don't. It's your fake ass government. And here go another, look, it gets all the way into the corporate powers. Am I gonna add all this shit? Nah, I'm not gonna add all that. I think I'm gonna add it from right here all the way up. So I'll put this in the video so y'all can hear it yourself. I'm tired of reading. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and read the grown-ass adults that don't even know what they living in and letting their kids die by the hand of police every day. So I'll let y'all hear this part right after I do the intro, whatever the case may be. But I know one thing. Black people, y'all better wake up. And you should have been renounced your citizenship. Once they denied you justice one time, that should have been it. If we renounced our citizenship 80 years ago, right now we'd be in spaceships living in the sky. With that being said, what you heard and saw was the content. For additional content, click the link in the description. Like, follow, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, visit my community wall, and if you have time, go to www.amore-eka.com/TV. That's our Planet of the Face 2. We are the new umbrella, Planet